Being alone in the dark can be unsettling. But what happens when you come face to face with something or someone you wish you'd never met? Tonight, we're diving into 6 of the most disturbing videos ever caught on camera. Let's delve straight into the first disturbing video. In this video, 2 friends set out to explore an abandoned paper mill, but they do so with extreme caution. Kenneth and Justin are no strangers to urban exploration. They've explored countless abandoned locations before, and the old paper mill in Austin, Pennsylvania was next on their list. But aside from the structural dangers that come with exploring a decaying building, there was another reason they were treading carefully. The mill is rumored to be haunted. For years, locals have reported strange encounters near the site. Unexplained noises, shadowy figures, and eerie sensations. One resident even shared a chilling experience from his past, recounting a time when he and his friends saw something they couldn't explain.
It was definitely a paper mill haunted as shit, because I went there the one night, me and my buddies. We all went over there, and we were drinking a little bit, but yeah, my buddy caught it on camera that like something ran behind us.
No kidding.
On Snapchat, like he caught it on camera and everything.
And while there are plenty of eerie tales surrounding the paper mill, Kenneth and Justin weren't there for ghost stories. They came to explore. Little did they know, however, that their adventure would take a terrifying turn. As they carefully navigate through the decaying structure, they come across something unsettling. A dark, open space beneath the building. Curious, they head down. And then, it happens.
Well, I want to get that lower, closer down here.
There's a bone on the beaver dam there. Good.
Holy shit.
See it right there?
What is it?
A bone.
Bone. I don't see it. Oh, it is. What the f***? Holy smokes. What was that? Hello? Yep, get the f out of there! Whoa!
Yep, no more of that.
Did you hear that?
Oh yeah.
What was
I
that?
have no idea.
A disembodied voice emerges from the darkness. A sound so distinct, so sudden, that both men freeze in place. It almost sounds like a child's voice. And then, pure panic. Without hesitation, Kenneth and Justin bolt. They run for their lives, their instincts telling them to get out immediately. Because if that truly was a child, what were they doing in the basement of an abandoned paper mill? And if it wasn't a child, then what was it? After the terrifying moment, nothing else unusual happens. But the atmosphere shifts. The weight of the experience lingers. Both men are visibly shaken. Throughout the rest of their exploration, the unease remains. And when they finally leave, one thing is clear. They have no idea what they encountered that day. And they don't plan on coming back to find out. Did you find this encounter unsettling already? Then brace yourself for what you're about to see next. Quick interruption. If you're enjoying this video, why not hit that subscribe button? We're on a mission to hit 150,000 subscribers, and when we do, 3 lucky fans will win a free item of their choice from our merch store. Right now, 73.6% of you watching haven't subscribed yet. It's completely free, and your support helps us make even more awesome videos. So, don't miss out. Subscribe, and let's get back to the video. Urban explorer Chris Hill thought he had left this place behind forever. After his first visit to an abandoned warehouse, he was convinced that something unnatural lurked inside. At the time, he hadn't noticed anything unusual until he reviewed his footage. What he saw changed everything. Throughout the entire night, he wasn't alone. A shadowy presence had been watching him, and though he couldn't see it at the time, he had felt it. A strange, icy sensation brushed against him, as if someone had reached out and touched him. Unnerved by the discovery, Chris made one thing clear: he would never return. But now, something has made him change his mind. Whether it was curiosity, pressure from his viewers, or something else entirely, Chris is back. His latest video documents his return to the warehouse. But this time, things take an even darker turn.
I'm back. And this is probably a very bad idea.
From the moment Chris steps inside, he doesn't want to be here. He retraces his steps from the first exploration, following the same path through the decaying structure. The deeper he goes, the more uneasy he becomes. And just like last time, when he reaches the underground corridor, things start to get strange.
Wow. Yep, it's still really cold in here. Look, you can see my breath now. Look. Like, that's how you know I'm not lying. But look, I'll do it out here. You don't see my breath. But as soon as you come in here, oh my God, it's freezing. As soon as you come in here, I don't know if the camera can see that, I hope so. But that's crazy.
A sudden drop in temperature sends a shiver down his spine. The air feels heavy, thick with something unseen. But what happens next is far more disturbing. Chris arrives at the exact spot where, on his last visit, he had felt the eerie touch. Almost immediately, an overwhelming sense of dread washes over him. The atmosphere is different here, charged with something unnatural. In the distance, a faint blue glow flickers. That's where he set up his infrared cameras, the same spot as before. But near the cameras, there's a small staircase leading to a lower level, an area he never fully explored. Against his better judgment, he decides to investigate. And that's when he captures this.
It's a weird noise in this room. That's creepy. It's a weird noise in this room.
As Chris moves deeper into the unknown, a sound barely perceptible at first begins to emerge. A whisper, low, deep, monotone, a voice that doesn't belong to him. Viewers who have carefully analyzed the audio agree. This whisper isn't just background noise. It's something else. Had Chris heard it in real time, he likely would have run for his life. But what happens next? That's what finally sends him running. As he heads back upstairs and enters the creepy corridor, everything escalates.
Really creepy in here. As I walk, it sounds like people are talking. I don't know if that's just the sound of my feet echoing or what. It's really creepy. scared the shit out of me.
A sudden, sharp noise from above breaks the silence. Before Chris can react, a piece of debris crashes to the ground right next to him. Panic takes over. He bolts out of the corridor, heart racing, struggling to make sense of what just happened. But while he's focused on escaping, his infrared camera downstairs captures something far more terrifying. A ghostly figure. It appears only seconds after the debris mysteriously falls, walking above him, before suddenly vanishing into thin air. Chris, unaware of this at the time, returns upstairs, desperate to understand what just happened. He looks around, searching for the fallen object, trying to rationalize the unexplainable.
This big ass box just fell on this grate. Maybe it fell from up there. Oh my God, my heart's racing. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna put the IR camera up here while I explore. That'd be a good idea. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I got the IR camera set up at the top floor.
He refuses to leave without answers. Determined to catch whatever, or whoever, was responsible, Chris sets up his infrared cameras on the top floor. If something is in this building, he wants to see it. Chris returns to the lower floor, leaving his cameras rolling upstairs. He tries to explore further, hoping to find some clue as to what's been happening. But what he captures next is something he never could have expected.
What the just happened?
An invisible force yanks him backwards, throwing him violently to the ground. The impact is so intense that it knocks him unconscious. Minutes pass. Then, suddenly, Chris wakes up, disoriented, shaken. Lying on the cold, hard floor, he realizes he's been out for a while. The weight of what just happened crashes down on him. No more second chances. Chris grabs his things and runs. He doesn't look back. With everything that's happened, this time and the last, viewers are convinced of one thing. Something sinister lurks inside this place. But the question remains, is it truly paranormal? Or is there another explanation waiting to be uncovered? Chris himself no longer cares to find out. One thing is certain, he is never coming back. But what if it's not happening somewhere else, but instead, strange things are happening in your own home? Let's see it unfold in the next video. Imagine seeing something so terrifying in your own home that it shakes you to your core. That's exactly what happened to Rachel on February 20th, 2025, when she noticed her child's balloon behaving in a way that defied all logic. She decided to film it, hoping to catch whatever was happening on camera. What she recorded that night left her more disturbed than ever before.
It's doing it again. It just stopped.
At first glance, it looks like nothing unusual. A floating balloon, gently drifting. But then, it comes to a sudden halt, right in front of the basement door. Most people would chalk this up to an air current or a draft, but Rachel quickly realized something far more unsettling. This wasn't just random. It kept happening, over and over again. Every single time, the balloon would travel the exact same path, always stopping just a few feet from the basement entrance, almost as if something was luring it there. And the strangest part? It would never go inside. That is, unless her son followed it.
Andrew.
Unlike previous instances where the balloon would abruptly stop near the entrance, this time it moved all the way inside. Strangely, it only did so when Rachel's son started to follow it. While it's possible that a draft or airflow could be responsible for its movement toward the basement, the way it consistently stops just a few feet from the cellar, despite the door being left open at times, is undeniably odd. No matter where the balloon starts, whether upstairs or in the farthest corner of the house, it always drifts along the same path before inexplicably pausing at the exact same spot. To Rachel, this pattern simply doesn't make any sense.
Literally stopped at the basement door again.
And then, one night, the balloon did something it had never done before. It was around 9:30 p.m. when Rachel captured the most disturbing footage yet.
Babe.
Quiet! Quiet!
Instead of stopping at the basement door like before, the balloon moved, this time straight up the stairs, directly toward Rachel. It floated eerily, as if being pulled by an unseen force. But the moment it reached the top, it froze, as if something had just stopped it. Defying all laws of physics, the balloon hung there, completely still. Even the family's dogs reacted.
Quiet!
At this point, Rachel and her husband knew something wasn't right. They debated throwing the balloon away, but their son refused to let it go. It was just a balloon after all. How much harm could it really cause? That decision would come back to haunt them. Just days later, Rachel was home alone when she had what she describes as the most terrifying experience of her life. At first, she thought her eyes were playing tricks on her, but when she looked closer, she saw it. At the top of the stairs, just within the corner of the doorframe, something eerie comes into view. A forehead. At first, Rachel wasn't sure what she was seeing, but as she looked closer, it became clear. The forehead led down to a pair of eyes, barely visible in the dim light. When the video is slowed down, frame by frame, the unsettling sight becomes even more distinct. Yet, there's something about it that deeply unsettles both Rachel and her husband. Naturally, Rachel was shaken. If the strange behavior of the balloon hadn't already convinced them that something was wrong with their basement, this terrifying encounter certainly did. Someone, or something, was in there. Given everything that had happened before, they couldn't help but wonder, was this the force behind the balloon's bizarre movements? To them, it seemed like the path the balloon always followed wasn't dictated by physics alone, but by something far more sinister. Since that night, Rachel has locked the basement door and has no intention of opening it anytime soon. Yet, despite their precautions, one question remains unanswered. Just what did Rachel and her family witness in their home? As with so many eerie encounters, this one remains an unsettling mystery. And what also remains a mystery is what exactly the person in the next video is. This next video was submitted by a viewer who stumbled upon a clip that left them deeply unsettled. They first came across it on Instagram and were so disturbed that they felt compelled to share it. According to their message, the footage originates from a city in Yemen, where a store owner captured something chilling on his security camera. It was late at night when an unfamiliar woman walked into his shop. At first, it seemed like any ordinary customer, but something was undeniably off. The viewer who sent me this video pointed out a few disturbing details. Her hand looked unnatural, her voice changed mid-conversation, and most unsettling of all, her face didn't seem quite right. With a description like that, I had to see the clip for myself. And after watching it in full screen, I can say there is definitely something strange about this encounter. Take a look.
خلاص ولا حاجة. طيب حالك. حوامك.
من مات عليك؟
ها؟
من مات عليك؟
ولا واحد. سلامك.
أشيل غلط.
ما بشتغل، ما عاد منزل هاي. يا والله ما. طيب. طيب حالك.
The first thing that stands out is the woman's complexion. Her skin is unnaturally pale, resembling someone who is either severely ill or, disturbingly, no longer among the living. The person who submitted this footage noted the same eerie detail. Her appearance is unnerving, but it doesn't stop there. Viewers of the original video were quick to speculate that this was something far more sinister, a case of an inhuman entity masquerading as a person. Some even claimed that, in certain frames, a pair of hooves could be seen where her feet should have been. Now, personally, the video quality makes it difficult to confirm such a detail. But one thing is undeniable. The way her voice suddenly changes mid-sentence is unsettling. Her mannerisms, the strange way she speaks, and the eerie way she keeps repeating the question, who passed away? All of it combines to create a deeply disturbing scene. So, what exactly did the store owner encounter that night? A troubled woman with an unusual presence, or something far more unexplainable? As with all these strange encounters, I'll leave it up to you to decide. What do you think? Was this just a case of an unsettling late-night visitor? Or did the store owner come face to face with something not entirely human? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. For now, let's delve straight into the next shocking encounter. For Crystal and Damien, buying their first home was a milestone, a place where they could start the next chapter of their lives together. After just a few months of settling in, they had already made unforgettable memories. The house wasn't just a place to live, it was a symbol of their growing bond, their future together. But soon, unsettling things began to happen. At first, it was easy to dismiss. Little noises, misplaced objects, fleeting shadows in their peripheral vision. But as time went on, the experiences became harder to ignore. Both Damien and Crystal felt like something was off. Determined to find answers, they set up security cameras throughout their home, hoping to capture proof that they weren't just imagining things. What they recorded shook them to their core. It was August 6th, 2022, and the couple was fast asleep. Past midnight, the security camera in the hallway captured something chilling. At first, they thought it could have been a prank, maybe someone outside playing a cruel joke. But nothing was adding up. The sound didn't come from the front door or any entrance they could see. Something was inside. Even though this was unsettling, the next video is even more disturbing. One evening, Crystal and Damien were in the kitchen having an argument. As their discussion became more intense, it happened.
I don't want to keep hanging out with your friends if that's how it's going to make me feel at the end of the day. Like, it feels more like...
They don't mean to do it. They're not like planning on,
Do you know how it feels to hang out with a group of people and they don't even want you there?
They do want you there.
But I'm only there
they want
because
you there. They like you a lot. No, they don't. That's the only reason. They like me. They're my friends. But but they like you a lot.
They're acting fucking rude to me.
They're not trying. That's just how they. Hey.
At first, they thought it was just a coincidence. Maybe the plate had been unsteady. Maybe vibrations caused it to shift. But before they could even react, another plate flew from the cabinet. This time, it wasn't just falling. It was hurled toward Damien. It was as if something, or someone, was intervening. Was this an accident? Or was this entity trying to send a message? But even this wasn't the worst of it. One night, Crystal was home alone. Sitting in the bedroom, scrolling through her phone, she was enjoying a quiet evening. Then, out of nowhere, it happened. Believing that Damien had come home from work early, Crystal waited for him to appear. But as seconds passed and no one showed up, she quickly realized Damien wasn't there. Understandably, Crystal was shaken. However, as unsettling as this moment was, it wouldn't compare to what happened next. It's unclear what exactly transpired, but whatever it was, it left the couple with no choice. They had to leave their home. In a recent video, Damien explained the situation.
Yeah, we're just just outside because it's getting weird in there. And we don't feel safe being in there anymore, so we're just gonna go to just Airbnb for the night, and just for the night, and then we're gonna figure out what to do.
The activity had become so intense that they could no longer live comfortably in their house. Despite their love for their home, they felt forced to leave, hoping that distance would put an end to whatever had been tormenting them. Feeling hopeless, they booked an Airbnb and spent the night there. But the next evening, they made a bold decision. They would return. They believed that by conducting a seance, they could make contact with the spirit they suspected was haunting their house. If they could communicate with it, they might be able to convince it to leave. So, they recorded the entire process. But little did they know, this would be a terrible mistake.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
At first, there was nothing. The air was heavy, the tension unbearable. Then, without warning, the shower door began to shake violently on its own. The couple panicked. Terrified, they bolted from the bathroom, realizing something had gone horribly wrong. Without hesitation, they fled the house, returning to the Airbnb, shaken by what had just happened. For now, staying away seemed like the safest option. Given everything they had experienced, this was likely the best decision. But until they find another solution, their home remains abandoned. So, with everything that has unfolded, what exactly is happening inside their house? Until they provide another update, this question remains unanswered. But as always, what do you think? Paranormal or not? You be the judge. Did you find these 5 videos unsettling? Then brace yourself for the last disturbing video. On December 19th, 2023, a hospital surgeon experienced something so unsettling that she had to stop what she was doing and leave the operating room immediately. She had been recording an instructional video for her surgical students when she suddenly felt an overwhelming presence. Something, or someone, was watching her. Now, what makes this case particularly strange is where the footage comes from. The account that posted it is strictly educational, designed for aspiring surgical technicians. It had never shared anything remotely paranormal before. Yet, after reviewing the footage, Tiffany, the surgeon in the video, felt compelled to post it, hoping someone could provide an explanation. Let's have a look.
At chromic catgut, the difference is, I'm so sorry, my brain. Okay, here we go, back. Okay. So here we have 2 different kinds of sutures, polypropylene, monofilament, and chromic catgut. The difference between these 2 is that this one is dissolvable and it's animal derived. And the sutures last anywhere from 60 to 90 days. Literally tearing up right now. I saw it.
You saw it?
Yeah, I saw it. Can you please just show yourself? Just give me a sign. Do whatever you want.
What was meant to be a simple demonstration on sutures quickly became something out of a horror movie. Tiffany recalls catching a fleeting glimpse of a dark figure standing outside the operating room window, just for a moment, before it darted out of sight. She barely had time to process what she saw before the figure disappeared toward the other side of the hospital. It was brief, but it was enough to leave her completely shaken. She couldn't say for sure what it was, but based on the countless eerie reports from others in the hospital, she had a chilling suspicion. This could be the infamous ghost that so many had claimed to see. Almost every staff member has had some kind of strange experience in this place. Mysterious sounds, shadowy figures, unexplained movements. But out of all the eerie spots in the hospital, one place stands out as the most haunted: the women's restroom. Determined to get answers, Tiffany made her way there. But when she arrived, there was nothing. Or so she thought. Minutes later, as the camera was still rolling, something happened. Then, just for a second, a dark figure rushes past the automatic doors. The movement is fast, almost too fast, making it all the more disturbing. Despite the terrifying experience, Tiffany hasn't spoken much about what happened that night. In fact, out of all the videos on her account, only 1 or 2 even mention the incident. Beyond that, silence. Was this just a trick of the light? A strange shadow caused by movement in the hospital? Or did Tiffany come face to face with something unexplainable? As with so many of these eerie encounters, the truth remains unknown. But one thing is certain, Tiffany won't be forgetting that night anytime soon. That's all for today, folks. If you want to see more of this creepy content, click on the video on screen.